The sound in here might not be great, but I was just thinking about how much I truly love this version of myself. And it's not a perfect version, but what I notice is the more I learn to stay in my body and I really learn to understand that these sensations were never about my value. It's taught me that I'm worth staying for, first of all. Secondly, how much of my focus was being taken. I remember just in all stages of my life, and I'm just going to speak to motherhood and personal training because those were the most recent ones, is like comparing myself to how much this person's lifting, or seeing a number that I lifted. I'm like, oh, I have to get more, I have to do more. And then in motherhood, I'm noticing how all the other mothers were parenting their children and thinking like, oh, I don't do that, that's something that I should do. And all of this, I want to say it's not normal, but it's okay to feel that once in a while. But that was constant thing that was going on in my body, and also unconsciously, because when I started to sit with my body, the sensation underneath all of it was this hypervigilance. And until I was able to really feel that in my body, I didn't realize that I was experiencing my life through this body with that hypervigilance. And no wonder everything felt like too much, especially in motherhood, because it is an abundant experience. It is more of everything. But what I realize now, just reflecting on how far I've come, how everything else that used to take my focus, it's become so irrelevant. Where I am in my journey also feels irrelevant in a way where I'm like actually focusing on the things that give me life, that give me the capacity not to just be good in the gym or just in motherhood, but it feeds into this entire ecosystem that I call my life. And that's what we have to realize, is that I know even as mothers, or even if you're in a partnership, it feels like most of our life is just being a mother, or bulk of it is being there for that person, when there's so much more. And if that's what you're experiencing, that is good news, because that means you have a whole other section of you that you have not experienced, which is like the fun part. And it is really about giving yourself the permission. No one else can do that. Like, I've invested in so many coaches, which I feel is important, but I always invested not for myself, but for them to give me something, because I felt I was lacking. And so this is so much around how I coach. I'm not giving you something that you don't already have. I'm just simply guiding you and gently pushing you back to yourself when you feel that trigger, when you feel the discomfort, when you feel like, God, fuck, this life sucks. And the intensity of discomfort that you feel is the equivalent to how disconnected you are from yourself. And so when you start to understand that, and you really recognize the power that you have as a creator of your reality, not to manipulate other people, but to create this ecosystem that you call your life, that will also be touched by others, right? Because our lives are not purely us moving about the world. We interact with other people. And when your energy can be felt in such a way where it's, oh, wow, this person is really living, feels like they're living their authentic self, or whatever it is. It's a feeling, right? There's a draw. That's how you help transform not only yourself and those around you, but also into the collective. I realize that individual work is about supporting the bigger groups and the communities and the collective.